team, I hope you're all well. Today we're going to finally do my July wrap up. I've been meaning to do this for a hot minute and I just have not been in the mood. So we're going to run through and go through it now. July was a reasonably good month, despite the fact that I did have COVID. So I was isolating for 10 days and for a good portion of those 10 days I did actually nothing, like literally nothing. I couldn't read. I was just way too tired and ill to do anything. So I was really gutted about it, but I managed to pull it back towards the end of the month, which I'm really glad about, and did myself a little like weekend reading vlog, I think, or something. I can't remember, but I managed to pull it back towards the end of the reading month, and I managed to read 16 books in total with 4,151 pages read, which I'm really glad about. I had 3 5-star books, I had 11 4-star books, 2 3-star books, no 2 or 1-star books, and I DNF'd 2 books. Those 2 books that I DNF'd were Artemis by Andy Weir. I was really gutted about this. Andy, I love The Martian. It's one of my favourite books of all time. And then I picked this up and I was really gutted because Andy just doesn't seem to be able to write a female character. And I have read an interview before where Andy says his characterizations are usually his weakest parts of his book. So I wouldn't agree with that with the male characters, to be fair. I have loved the male characters in his other books. So yeah, I did DNF this one, a little bit gutted about it, but it is what it is. I just wasn't enjoying myself. And the other book was The 5th Season by... That's my new ring. That's my new message tone on my phone. My apologies. I forgot that it was on loud. It's been making me smile all day and I've needed it. So
I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it.
So the next book that I DNF'd was The 5th Season by N.K. Jemisin. I'm actually gutted about this one because I was so hyped for it. Really devastated that I've ended up DNFing this one. I just was not vibing with it. We're following 3 different perspectives, and one of them is in second person and it keeps throwing me off massively. So the other 2 are in third person, and are they in third person or are they in first? Either way, we're following one of these in second person and it's really weird. It just struggled massively to get through this. I did get a reasonable way. I think I got around halfway through, but I honestly couldn't tell you what was going on in this story. I couldn't tell you a single... I could tell you probably one thing, which was that a mother was looking for her child. So that was the only thing that I knew that was going on in here, and I didn't see the point in forcing myself through it if I wasn't enjoying it and I didn't know what was going on. So I have DNF'd it. I may keep hold of it for the time being and maybe try and come back to it at a later date, but I don't know how long that will stick with me. I don't know. I'm sad about it. So I did DNF The 5th Season as well. It is what it is. So obviously my disappointments for the months are The 5th Season and Artemis. Artemis? There was a discussion about this on a live show. But whatever. Those are my disappointments for the month. And obviously kind of rolls into worst books of the month as well. I will mention my favourite and my surprising books for the month in a second, but let's just go through what I read and what I rated everything. So the first book I finished for the month was The Martian by Andy Weir. I have reread this now. I think this was my 3rd or 4th reread and I gave it 5 stars for however many times it's been. I love this book. It's fantastic. My favourite book to movie adaptation ever. I just think it's brilliant, so I absolutely love this one.
Oh, fuck you, Mars.
Then we had My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix, which I ended up giving 3 stars. I enjoyed this. I thought it was really good. I really liked the pop culture references and I enjoyed the story overall. So yeah, gave it 3 stars. To me, 3 stars is not a bad rating. It's just a mediocre rating. It wasn't anything ridiculously special. And also, horror is my least favourite genre. I do not like horror at all. So I do test myself on occasion. I like to pick up a spooky book on occasion, but it's gonna be rare that I'm ever gonna rate a horror book 5 stars because I am such a scaredy cat. And although it might be a good read and it might do the thing it's set out to do, I will not necessarily enjoy the full reading process, if that makes sense. So I can acknowledge that it's written well and it's a good story, etc, etc, but sometimes it will get to a point where, although I acknowledge all of those things, I cannot give it 5 stars because I didn't necessarily enjoy the reading process, which I know is a me issue, not the book's issue, but alas. So yeah, 3 stars for this one. It was good. I still love the cover for this one. I think I'm actually going to keep hold of it. Although I've read it and I don't know if I'll ever reread it, I just really enjoy the cover. It's so pretty. Then I read Small Spaces by Catherine Arden, which I gave 4 stars. I really enjoyed this one and I'm looking forward to continuing on with this series. It's not following the same kids, I don't think, but it is kind of like a series of middle grade horror that Catherine Arden is doing. So I'm looking forward to continuing on. I do have the second one and I am going to be ordering the third one soon, hopefully. But yeah, I did enjoy this one. 4 stars for this one. Then I read Disney animated classic Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas. This is just the like a very short adaptation of the movie as a book. And I gave this one 4 stars. I do enjoy The Nightmare Before Christmas. I love Christmas, I love Halloween, so you combine the two, you get happiness. So yeah, 4 stars for this one. Then I read Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir, which I also gave 4 stars. I did enjoy this one. It was really good. I did find that I was like struggling a little bit towards the middle, but overall really good book. Enjoyed the characters in this one and enjoyed Andy's writing style. Again, this was a male character as opposed to a female character, so I enjoyed the writing style in this one a lot better than in Artemis. So yeah, 4 stars for this one. Then I read The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams, which I gave 4 stars. Stephen Fry narrated this one and I had a great time with it. I thought it was really good. I liked it a lot more than I thought I was going to, and it was very, very funny. And on that basis, I then went straight on to The Restaurant at the End of the Universe by Douglas Adams. However, Martin Freeman was the narrator for this one, and I'd gotten so used to the characters in the first one that when I then picked this up, I was entirely lost, because characters that were British in the first one were now American, and it just really threw me off. They were not the same characters at all, so I was a little bit disappointed by this one, and I ended up giving this one 3 stars. Then we have Ascender Volume 1, and I really enjoyed this one. I gave this one 4 stars. It was a really good start into 10 years into the future from Descender, so 10 years on from where Descender finished, and it was a really good intro into that, and I'm really looking forward to continuing on with the series. I have now read volume 2 and I'm looking forward to getting to volume 3 soon, hopefully. So yeah, gave this one 4 stars. Then I had All Systems Red by Martha Wells, which is the first in the Murderbot Diaries. I gave this one 4 stars. It was fantastic. I immediately bought books 2 and 3, and then the rest of the series was bought for me whilst I was in, you know, my isolation period from you guys. So thank you so much for collecting all of these for me. I really appreciate it. But yeah, I gave this one 4 stars. Really, really, really enjoyed this one. I loved the audiobook as well. It was great. Do recommend. Then I read Isn't It Bromantic by Lyssa Kay Adams, which is the 4th book in the Bromance Book Club series. I really hope it's not the final one, because I would love to read some more from this author and also from these guys. But I really, really loved this one. This was the Russian story, and it was great to get his side of things this time round. And yeah, I had an amazing time. 5 stars for this one. It was outstanding. Really recommend this series. Then I read The Sad Ghost Club by Lizzie Meddins, and I gave this one 4 stars. This was an impromptu pickup. I just really wanted to give this a reread. I did read it when I had an e-arc of it last year, I think it was. So I'm really glad to now have a physical copy, and I can't wait for the next one in the series to come out. So yes, 4 stars for this one. This is a graphic novel. Then I read Falling by TJ Newman, which is a thriller. I haven't picked a thriller up in ages, and I gave this one 4 stars. I picked this up while I was at Jade's earlier on this year in June. Earlier on this year, it was like literally 2 months ago. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one. It was really, really good. Very intense. Had me hooked. I literally read it in the space of like, I don't know, 12 hours or something. It was amazing, but really good read, and I highly recommend picking this one up. 4 stars. Then I read City of Rust by Gemma Fowler. This was such a fun read, and I read it in one evening on the sprints with Gav and Jade, where they did race sprints to read this. Gav did win, but I managed to read it throughout their sprints as well. It just took me a lot longer than them. But yeah, I gave this one 4 stars. It was really, really good. Had a really good time with this. I'd love to see more from these characters, to be honest, but I don't know if this is just a standalone, so we'll see what happens in the future. But yeah, highly recommend. Middle grade. Very, very good sci-fi. Speaking of sci-fi middle grade, I gave Orion Lost by Alistair Chisholm 4 stars. It was really good. I had a great time with these characters. Again, don't know if this is going to be a series or if it's just a standalone, but another middle grade sci-fi, so do recommend this one as well. I know it's one of Jade and Gav's favourites as well. Then I read The Last Shadow Warrior by Sam Subity. This is an Owl Crate Junior book that I got in one of their boxes, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the Viking side of things and the mythology that was in here. It was really, really good, and I would love to read more from this series and this author in the future. So 4 stars for this one. And then finally, I read Strange Planet by Nathan W. Pyle. This was just a tiny graphic novel that Sheila, Maddie's mum, sent to me, so thank you, Sheila, for this one. And this is adorable. I'm obsessed. I follow Nathan on Instagram, and it's just a really cute graphic novel of these aliens basically doing day-to-day stuff but in an alien way, and I really enjoy it. I gave this 5 stars. It gave me so much happiness, so yeah, I loved this. So those are all my ratings. My most surprising book was The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I wasn't expecting to love this as much as I did, but I had a really good time with it. It was a lot of fun. Stephen Fry did a great job. I was just really disappointed when I got to the second one, and the narrator had not only changed, but they changed all of the characters in the book as well, which I wasn't impressed with. But yeah, this was my most surprising, and my most favourite of the month was Isn't It Bromantic by Lissa K. Adams. Again, I've just mentioned this is the 4th in the book club, in the Bromance book club series, but I do recommend this series. It's really, really good. So yeah, I gave this one 5 stars and I absolutely loved it. So those are all the books that I read and DNF'd in the month of July. It was looking to be a pretty crappy month, to be fair. It was just in the last weekend, I think, that I managed to nail quite a few more books, so I'm really happy with that. And despite the fact that for several days I didn't read, I did all right, so I'm pretty impressed with myself. So yeah, do let me know in the comments down below what your favourite or worst book of the month was, and if you've read any of these, let me know in the comments down below, and I shall see you next time. Bye for now.